School wasn't a whole lot of fun for me, but if there's one thing that was a lot of fun, and I'm sure many of you would agree, is when the book fair came in. I recently reclaimed some of that joy in one of my trips to the thrift store, which is a place that I frequent pretty often. One, because I'm a cheapskate. Two, I can't pass up a good deal on something. And boy, howdy, did I rake it in this time. And not all of these books are brand new, but if you considered it and adjusted it for inflation for what most books go for, probably looking at about $200 or $300 worth of books here. I spent about $7. Let's dig into it. Let's see what I got. One of the first ones I found that made me look further through the stack of books was The Best Cowboy Cooking from a Timeless Land. I was like, okay, whatever. But the recipes in here are insane. It came with all these extra things. It came with these protective sheets for when your book becomes a big old mess, or to keep it from becoming that. There are recipes in here for alcoholic beverages. There's this ridiculous poster that I've shown in another posting, but I'll probably show it again at the end. But there's a firemouth pizza, there's a barbecue roast, there's tons of stuff in here. And one of the coolest things of all that is in this book is it gives you conventional oven instructions, but it also gives you the options for cooking on an open fire with a Dutch oven. Pretty neat. Kind of believe in this philosophy that lightning can strike twice. So when I found something that unique, I had to keep digging. And I found some more shit. Here we go. I could have a completely banal approach to pizza. And you know what? Sometimes I do. But I went thumbing through this thing, and it tells you everything. Literally how to make dough, tons and tons of different recipes. It goes over toppings, it goes over presentation. You got veggies, you got meatball, broccoli, ricotta, taco pizza. And this book was made in about 94 or 95, and this is really before the whole craft pizza boom started taking over after the turn of the century. So really cool to find this stuff in here. Gazpacho. There's one in there that really caters to the freak side that I would be willing to try. There is one in there for veal pizza. Yes. This book, you'll never have an excuse again to say, I don't know what to do with this ground beef in my freezer. Some of these we're looking at post 2000, all the way up to 2015 with this book about, I guess, getting kinky with your food, man. There's some recipes in there with some aphrodisiacs and whatnot, but you know what, 50 cents, fuck it, I bought it. This one is about late night snacks, also the same publisher, same layout, around about 2015. You get into these, which, you know, they're looking kind of faded, and I don't, okay, whatever. But it's 80s. That doesn't mean that it's not relevant, and that's a cool thing. This book of biblical proportions is the Ladies' Home Journal cookbook from about 1963 was the last copyright date on it. When I first found this Ladies' Home Journal cookbook, I thought it was Fannie Farmer, just by the size of it. And I will say this, having all these books is great. I used to have a Fannie Farmer cookbook. I will get another. My old copy was my mom's. It is an absolute prerequisite to any kitchen and to anyone who is passionate about cooking at all. Get one. Fannie Farmer. Do the damn thing. What the hell is that? It's pretty obvious that one of the big turnoffs of older cookbooks, especially this one, this Ladies' Home Journal, is some of the images just make everything look terrible and unappetizing. Some aren't so bad, and most of these are hand-drawn. I mean, they're tastefully done for the 60s. I guess. Bread is the staff of man's existence. Bread is wheat, and wheat is earth, the good earth, the black earth out of which comes man's food, his health, his vigor, his long life. Whoever the hell said that. Croissant! Cookbooks evolve with time. This is one from the 80s. Pictures look a whole lot better. Some nice pineapple, some watermelon, like some McRib kind of things. And still, even at that, I guess even in the newest one, occasionally you can run across this kind of squab, whatever that is. Kaboom! Lastly, this one I thought was neat just because it's niche cooking and it's all ocean friendly. So all seafood stuff. All seafood stuff. And it's got some neat little factoids and a picture of a plane and pictures of fish. And hey, that looks sexy. What I like is it actually teaches you about the fish, their indigenous habitats, and the best ways to handle and prepare them. Some of these fish might be a whole lot harder to find here in like the Ohio Valley versus the Northeast, but still neat nonetheless. Hey, here's a book for when you've smoked too much weed. Here's a book for when you're watching the Deadliest Catch Marathon. Here's a book for making aspics and casseroles. Here's 2 books when you're in the endless battle of VHS versus Betamax. Here's a book when you can't make up your goddamn mind. Here's a book for when you're watching the John Wayne Marathon. Here's a book when you're feeling some hanky-panky type shit. Here's a book for when you can't fucking sleep. I got these books for 1, enjoyment. 2, hella deal. 3, incorporating into the show in any way that I find fit. So stay tuned for all of that in the future, and stay tuned for next week for Taco Lasagna. DatChef502. Yep.